57 First Dates, A Year in the Trenches of Modern Love. Written by Aziz Ansari in Modern Romance, 57. That's how many first dates Martin Vidal went on last year. It's a staggering number, a testament to both his dedication and the exhausting reality of modern dating. It's a journey defined by swipes, fleeting connections, and the relentless pursuit of something real in a sea of digital facades. Martin's story is not unique. It's a reflection of a generation grappling with the overwhelming nature of finding love in the age of apps. Swipe right for a connection. The mechanics of modern dating. For Martin, the journey often began with a swipe, a simple gesture that could potentially change the course of his romantic life. The familiar ritual of scrolling through profiles, judging potential partners on a few carefully curated photos and a witty bio. Each profile a snapshot, a glimpse into someone's life, but never the full picture. It's a process that feels more like online shopping than finding a soulmate. The endless options can be overwhelming, making it hard to focus on any one person. A quick judgment, a hope for a match, and then the awkward dance of initiating conversation. The first date often feels like an interview, with both parties trying to impress while also being true to themselves. The opening lines, often recycled and impersonal, feel more like a chore than a genuine attempt to connect. "Hey, how's it going?" Or, "What are you up to?" Messages that lack creativity and depth. The conversations themselves follow a predictable pattern, small talk that rarely delves into meaningful topics, making it hard to form a real connection. Exchanging pleasantries, asking about work and hobbies, trying to gauge compatibility through a series of digital exchanges. It's a dance of words, often leading nowhere. It's a far cry from the serendipitous encounters of the past, replaced by a calculated and often superficial screening process. The magic of a chance meeting is lost, replaced by algorithms and data points. So what do? Navigating the first date minefield. If the initial conversations went well, came the first date. A carefully selected venue, usually a trendy bar or cafe, became the battleground for connection. Martin Vidal. I found myself repeating the same stories, the same anecdotes, honed to perfection over countless first dates. The conversations felt scripted, lacking the spontaneity and genuine curiosity that comes with truly connecting with someone new. He developed a system, a mental checklist of sorts, to assess his dates. Were their interests compatible? Did they laugh at his jokes? Was there a spark, that elusive feeling of chemistry, that could potentially blossom into something more? More often than not, the answer was a disappointing no. The dating script, recycled stories and rehearsed charm. It wasn't that Martin wasn't trying. He showed up on time, dressed well, and always brought his best self to the table. He put effort into each date, genuinely wanting to make a connection. He listened, he laughed, and he shared parts of his life. Martin Vidal. But the sheer volume of encounters started to take its toll. The endless cycle of introductions and small talk became exhausting. I found myself falling back on the same stories, the same jokes, the same anecdotes that once felt fresh and engaging. My personality becoming a caricature of its former self, a shadow of the genuine person I once was. The charm, once effortless, now felt rehearsed, like a script I had memorized and performed countless times. A performance for an audience of one who may or may not be receptive. The dates blurred together, each one indistinguishable from the last. A string of faces and conversations that faded into the background noise of his life. The excitement of meeting someone new was replaced by a sense of monotony. He began to question the purpose of it all. Was this endless cycle really leading him to the connection he sought? Was he really connecting with these women, or was it all just a facade? A series of rehearsed interactions with no real substance? Or were they just interchangeable players in the game of modern dating? The more he dated, the more he felt like a spectator in his own life, watching from the sidelines. The compatibility checklist, searching for love in all the wrong places.
I found myself becoming increasingly disillusioned with the process. The crowded cafes and endless swiping on dating apps were starting to feel like a never-ending cycle. The initial excitement of meeting someone new had been replaced by a sense of fatigue. Each new match felt like another task on a never-ending to-do list. The constant swiping, the superficial conversations, the pressure to present a curated version of myself. It all felt exhausting and ultimately unfulfilling. I was losing myself in the process, trying to be someone I wasn't just to fit into someone else's expectations.
He realized he was approaching dating with a checklist mentality. Each date was another box to tick off, another set of criteria to meet.
I had a predetermined set of criteria: career ambitions, shared interests, physical attributes, and I was trying to fit each date into this narrow mold. It was like trying to force a square peg into a round hole. I was so focused on finding someone who checked all the boxes that I was overlooking the most important thing: genuine connection. I was missing out on the beauty of getting to know someone for who they truly are.
The problem wasn't the women he was meeting. They were all unique individuals with their own stories and experiences. They were all intelligent, interesting people in their own right. Each one had something special to offer, something that couldn't be captured in a checklist. The problem was the system itself, the way technology had transformed dating into a numbers game, a quest for efficiency rather than a journey of exploration and discovery. It had turned the search for love into a mechanical process, stripping away the magic and spontaneity that make human connections so special. Second date dreams, first date realities, the elusive spark.
Out of the 57 first dates, only a handful progressed to a second, and even fewer made it past the third or fourth encounter. The relationships that did form were fleeting, fizzling out as quickly as they had begun. It was a constant cycle of hope and disappointment, a roller coaster of emotions that left me feeling drained and disheartened.
He began to wonder if he was the problem. Was he too picky? Too guarded? Or was it simply a matter of bad luck? A case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time? The self-doubt crept in, adding another layer of complexity to an already overwhelming experience.
The emotional toll of constant rejection was undeniable. I found myself questioning my self-worth, my confidence shaken by the sheer volume of failed connections. The excitement of finding love had been replaced by a sense of weariness. I was tired of putting myself out there, only to be met with indifference or disappointment. I realized that the problem wasn't just me. It was a systemic issue, a consequence of the way technology had fundamentally changed the dynamics of dating. The ease of access to potential partners, while seemingly a good thing, had created a paradox of choice. With so many options available at our fingertips, we become paralyzed by indecision, constantly searching for the next best thing rather than appreciating the connections we already have. The process of modern dating, with its emphasis on efficiency and optimization, began to feel more like a factory farm than a romantic pursuit. Swipe, match, chat, repeat. It was a production line of potential partners, each one reduced to a set of data points and carefully curated photos. The human element, the messy and unpredictable nature of real connection, was lost in the digital shuffle. The irony wasn't lost on me. I was using technology designed to connect people, yet I felt more alone than ever. The constant bombardment of profiles, the superficial interactions, the pressure to present a perfect version of myself, it was all a far cry from the intimacy and authenticity I craved. Despite the challenges, I hadn't given up hope. I still believed in love, in the possibility of finding someone who truly understood and accepted me. But I realized I needed to approach dating differently. I needed to step away from the apps, from the endless swiping and the superficial conversations, and reconnect with myself and the world around me. I started saying yes to more social invitations, rekindled old friendships, and pursued my passions with renewed vigor. I focused on building a fulfilling life outside of dating, knowing that true connection would come when I least expected it, not when I was desperately seeking it.
Martin's story is a cautionary tale about the perils of modern dating. It's a reminder that technology, while a powerful tool, can also be a double-edged sword. It can connect us with people from all walks of life, but it can also create a sense of isolation and disconnect. It's up to us to use these tools mindfully, to remember that real connection happens offline, in the messy and unpredictable spaces between swipes and likes. The quest for love in the digital age is a complex and often frustrating one, but it's a journey worth taking as long as we remember to prioritize genuine connection over efficiency and to never lose sight of the human heart behind the screen.